We saw a big boxing event, whether you want to call it a big boxing event, you call it a Netflix show. Interestingly, we saw with the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight, which you constantly kept on saying was a real fight, Spencer, but I won't bring it up again.
Great trip, mate.
We saw 108 million people watched it. Right? We saw 33 million people tune in to the Netflix Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Now, that's about 10% of the subscription base that Netflix have got. Now, it wasn't a pay-per-view, was it?
No, but Netflix is that entertainment space, and you go...
Were you surprised at the figure? Were you surprised at the figure?
No, I wasn't. And I'll tell you why. Mike Tyson is an iconic figure who's huge, and everyone's kids that know Mike Tyson and the name or whatever. There will be a lot of intrigue in watching Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, because Jake Paul has his own massive audience. Anthony Joshua, stateside... is not very big. His name wasn't very big. In fact, he's come out with a lot more credibility after taking that fight, and a lot more people know who he is off the back of fighting Jake Paul. But before that, and I think that reflects on the numbers. So with Jake Paul fighting Anthony Joshua, a lot of the kids over there would not have even heard of Anthony Joshua, and I think that is the stark reality.
But it's interesting, because I don't know the exact number, but I think Jake Paul's got 70, 80, 100 million followers. So the fact that an audience of only 30... And this was a Jake Paul audience, and this was a Jake Paul event. And the people in the auditorium were all Jake Paul fans. They were there to watch Jake Paul, not Anthony Joshua. Does this sort of return on the event? Because Netflix would have structured it in a certain way. When I was looking at the metrics of Netflix, without getting up my own arse in terms of figures, right? The acquisition of a subscriber, the lifetime value of a Netflix subscriber is about $900, right? And the last time they got, when they got Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson, they got 2 million extra subscribers. So they then generate future revenues of about $2 billion. So they pay $100 million because it fucking don't mean anything in terms of the great scheme of things against what they're acquiring. But in this instance, they've got far less investment from an audience. Is this, do you think, the sort of pricking of the Jake Paul bubble, Paul, in terms of the novelty factor?
It could be, as well as the way the fight ended. That could be the last the last straw, because it wasn't a close fight. It wasn't competitive. It wasn't really a fight, but it's obviously Jake Paul and what he's done. I've said this time and again. You can do nothing but applaud him, but I think that's run its course now. What's he going to do? Go down to cruiserweight and, like he's saying, and
hopefully box Pat Brown.
Well, he's ranked 15, isn't he? But he's ranked 15 in the world.
What would
taken two paces below your man?
Where's Pat Brown ranked in the world at the moment?
11.
Top prospect, unbelievable prospect. Probably knocking on the door for the top 50 in the rankings. He would absolutely destroy Jake Paul.
Absolutely. And
no one knows over in the States, with all due respect to Pat Brown, he's a lovely lad.
They will.
No one knows who Pat Brown is. They will. They will. They definitely will. So you're going to get more sort of criticism for fighting an unknown that no one knows and then losing again, because he's not going to win a world title at cruiserweight.
I think the foreseeable future sort of unknown really for Jake Paul right now, because of the damage to his jaw. You know, that's going to take a long time to recover. Forget all this 6 months, 9 months. It's not, and he's going to have to go back into training, psychological damage, all of that sort of stuff.
I just think it
was a David Blaine exercise.
There you go.
I just think it was a David Blaine exercise, because there's no normal person, especially he's got like Jay Leon Love, who's boxed himself at a very good level. He's got people around him that have been in the ring. There's no way, and unless they're just barefaced lying to him, saying, by the way, you've got a real shot of winning this fight. You have not a chance. It was a David Blaine exercise, and he just saw how... it was basically, how long can I stay in this ring for with this guy?
Do you not think the people that were around him were saying that to him? I personally do, because, like, you know what it's like.
Well, it must have been, because he ran for...
Absolutely.
You make out like you like sound every week or two, every paying the wages, innit? They're going to say whatever they can because they're getting paid.
Bread's buttered, mate. There you go. Do you think the real opportunity for Jake Paul is to go up against, with MVP, go up against Queensberry and Matchroom? They can put on a good show, but he is like the main. Who have they got? I mean, listen, Jake Paul's a great promoter. We know that for a sure. He's an unbelievable businessman. So, he's got a great.
I think honestly, that's where he should be now. Forget the fighting. You've got a top stable of, especially female fighters. From here.
If the rumours are right,
on that. Put your money into that and really have a good go.
Contract. If the rumours are right, and I think his name's very much in the mix for this Sky Sports contract, and that would make sense really, because Sky Sports was so invested in women's boxing. He's sort of got all of the names there. The girls over here as well.
It would actually, Spencer, it would make sense given the way that Sky Sports have moved themselves into a situation where they've got lots of young influencers that are part of this staple content now. You see it in football, all of the panels that are there's no expertise, it's just influencers talking about what they view the world to be, and it brings an audience with them. So is that where, I mean, can you see a situation, Paul, where MVP become the preferred promoter for Sky?
Possibly not at the moment, but I agree with what you're saying, and it's something that used to grate on me with Sky, and I watched Sky towards the end going worse and worse and worse. With all due respect to the lads that worked there, who were good, who were top quality boxing people. It wasn't necessarily boxing people that were on. There's people interviewing fighters that I'd never heard of that, and they weren't asking the right questions that you want to hear after the fight. What did you think on this performance? What did you think on this? And it was more down the influencer route, which it's Sky Sports. It's the institution of boxing in this country from the 90s, you know. And I wanted to see the blue ribbon stuff on there, and it wasn't going that way. But Jake Paul is that type of market.
Indeed.
Jake Paul has got a top-class stable of fighters now, and they're doing really well by the fighters. So
female fighters, but who's male fighters?
Female fighters. He has the best female fighters in this country. So let them fight in this country. Get them on shows in this country rather than having to wait for the big show in the States. If they come over here and put the shows on over here, they're going to be. So if Sky's the outlet for that, then great. I think it's a good fit. But whether it is or not, we'll see.
Sky Sports, I'm hearing, could be Southpaw Boxing, TKO Promotions, and MVP. That's pretty much where they could land.
We'll see. I mean, the interesting thing with Sky, for me, and this again ruminating into the ether, is that Sky's subscriber numbers are falling off a cliff. So, A, I don't know whether their investment is in boxing anymore. B, whether they're going to be able to afford the next right of broadcast deal for football, let alone pumping money to boxing. We'll see. Do you think, given that Netflix have had a little dance in the boxing space, and given that really now we hear it and it's been coined the expression, which is DOESN is the home for boxing, do we need another broadcaster to keep it not so much honest, because I'm not suggesting it's dishonest, but to keep it focused on the fact that the zone just doesn't have a free rein to do what it wants, and we have more broadcasters. I know we've got Ben Shalom dropping into the BBC, and he makes a big deal about the second show being better than the first one in terms of presentation. It couldn't be worse because it was like the set of Crossroads, wasn't it? The first one.
It's good for fighters. The more platforms there are, because if it's all an internal negotiation, the fighters aren't gonna. The money's not gonna be as good as what it will be if there's when Ben Shalom was on Sky, he was offering outrageous money for like your Ben Whitakers and your Fraser Clarks, and it was competitive. If it's all on one platform,
there's no competitive tension.
Listen, I think if Netflix come in as a main player as opposed to dipping their toe in and out of the water,
I don't think they will.
No, but I'm saying
they're an entertainment business.
If they decide to come in on a more regular basis. If they decide to do that, you go, look, it can only benefit boxing.
Oh, yeah, it will.
So, what is they, 300 million subscribers?
Yeah, and listen, the Ben Shalom thing, I'm not criticising them for that. I'm buzzing that boxing's on the BBC. I'm absolutely made up. And
just do it well.
I hope they absolutely smash it and they get the shows better, the production better. Netflix, I'm delighted Netflix in boxing, if they are in boxing, because it gets the average fan off the couch thinking, I'll watch this. I used to channel flick. We all flick through the channels. The average fella on the couch who watches Match of the Day, if there's a fight on just before it, he'll probably watch the fight as well.
Absolutely.
I think we need more of that. And DAZN, I'm not comparing it with what Box Nation was. And Box Nation at the time was great because we got to see more boxing. I first started commentating on it. I was very grateful.
You boxed on there, didn't you?
I boxed on it as well, but I started my commentary on it. I was very grateful for it. But only people who are interested in boxing are going to watch that, and it's similar with DAZN at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not putting that down. It's great for what it's doing at the moment, and we all have it, and we all watch the fights. But Netflix is a bit different in the sense that your average fan on the couch who isn't really the boxing expert will watch it because they've already bought it.
Absolutely right.
It's already paid for.